What's up everyone and welcome back to the MMA Buzz. Jack Della Maddalena recently delivered one of his most confident interviews to date, addressing multiple hot topics and making headlines with his bold statements. The Australian welterweight champion didn't hold back as he called out Chimaev, expressing a clear desire to face the undefeated powerhouse in the future. Della Maddalena made it clear that while his immediate focus remains on dominating his own division, a clash with Chimaev is a fight he wants down the line. A massive challenge he's eager to earn as his career progresses. During the conversation, Jack also shared his thoughts on Michael Bisping's recent comments, suggesting that Belal Muhammad would be an ideal opponent for him as a warm-up fight before targeting Islam Makhachev. Jack agreed, explaining that Belal's grinding, wrestling-heavy style could serve as a solid 5-round test, one that mirrors the kind of pressure and endurance he would need to handle at the highest level. However, when Belal's name came up again, Jack couldn't resist firing back with a few pointed remarks. Responding to Muhammad's recent comments claiming that Islam Makhachev would easily beat Della Maddalena, Jack laughed and took a subtle jab at Belal's lack of finishing power. He noted that Islam presents a far more dangerous challenge due to his superior submission skills and ability to close fights. Jack went on to discuss his own ambitions as champion, emphasizing his desire to be a defending champion who truly earns his legacy. "I'd like to see a champion clean out a lot of the top 10 guys before moving up," he said. "That's what I respect about Islam. He's done great work at lightweight, cleaned out his division and moved up at the right time. I'd like to do the same, defend my belt multiple times before even considering changing division." Closing out the interview, Jack once again downplayed Belal Muhammad's relevance to his career trajectory. "Honestly, I don't really listen to much of what Belal says," he admitted with a smirk. "He even thought he won that last fight, so you've got to take everything he says with a grain of salt. Of course, Islam's a better finisher than Belal. That's not even a question." Move on to another news. Reinier de Ridder is ready to rise again after his tough loss to Brendan Allen at UFC Vancouver, and he's setting his sights on none other than Chimaev. In a recent interview with Home of Fight, the former champion opened up about the struggles that led to his downfall and the lessons he's learned from them. Despite being written off by much of the MMA community, de Ridder made it clear he's far from finished. Reflecting on his defeat, de Ridder admitted that his biggest mistake was pushing himself too hard in pursuit of the title. "I messed up," he said candidly. "I pushed myself a bit too far. The weight cuts weren't 30 pounds, but they were still brutal, and I did that 5 times in 1 year. I was so focused on being ready for a title shot that I drove my body past its limits. That grueling pace," he explained, "left him completely drained, and the exhaustion showed in his performance against Allen." De Ridder acknowledged that this wasn't the first time overtraining had caught up with him. He recalled a similar experience in a past fight, where he started strong but faded late. "I was doing great in the first round," he said. "Then by the third, I had nothing left. I couldn't even stand up anymore." That realization has pushed him to approach his comeback with a smarter mindset, prioritizing recovery, patience, and balance over constant grind. When asked about his next move, de Ridder didn't hesitate. His ultimate goal is to face Chimaev, with Chimaev scheduled to fight Nassourdine Imavov, and the winner likely lining up for a title shot. De Ridder believes the timing could work perfectly. "I'm staying patient," he said. "The middleweight division is stacked right now. Every fight matters. I'm watching everything unfold and waiting for the perfect moment to strike." There's also been speculation about a potential fight between de Ridder and Paulo Costa, though nothing has been confirmed. For now, the focus remains on rebuilding and proving that the loss in Vancouver was just a temporary setback. In a lighthearted moment, de Ridder also addressed a fake Twitter account impersonating him. "There's this account pretending to be me," he laughed. "I think Khamzat might still think that's me, so maybe he's a little confused." When asked directly what he'd say to Chimaev, de Ridder smiled and replied, "Be patient. Keep that title warm, because I'm coming." Move on to another news. UFC commentator Jon Anik experienced a terrifying road rage incident that has shaken the MMA community. While driving in Connecticut, Anik says another motorist suddenly slammed on his brakes, forcing him to stop short. The other driver approached Anik's vehicle and demanded he roll down his window. When Anik complied, the man berated him for following too closely and ordered him to back up. The encounter escalated when the driver produced a switchblade and threatened to stab Anik in the neck before walking back to his car with the blade still visible. Anik described the episode as surreal and unnerving. He emphasized that he was not seeking confrontation and was simply caught off guard. He also noted, wryly, that he happened to be wearing flip-flops at the time, which limited his mobility and added to the vulnerability of the situation. Anik was left shaken but physically unharmed, and fans quickly rallied to offer support. The incident sparked broader discussion about road rage dangers and personal safety, underscoring that that violent confrontations can happen to anyone, even well-known public figures. Reflecting on the experience, Anik urged caution and patience on the road, and reminded listeners that de-escalation is often the safest course when confronted by aggression. He expressed gratitude for his safety and the outpouring of concern from the MMA community, while acknowledging the unsettling nature of being threatened with a weapon for a minor driving perceived slight. The episode is a sobering reminder that road incidents can quickly turn violent, and it has prompted many to review their own approaches to safety when driving and interacting with aggressive drivers. For more than a few days after the incident, he reflected on how quickly anger can escalate into real danger, and how important it is to prioritize safety over pride. Move on to another news. Dana White has officially removed multiple fighters from the UFC roster following the latest season of Dana White's Contender Series. As new talent continues to enter the organization through the show's fresh wave of signings, the UFC has begun clearing space by parting ways with several existing athletes. The most recent cuts include Yanal Ashmouz, Rolando Bedoya, and Kang Lee, three fighters who, despite flashes of promise, were unable to maintain consistent success inside the octagon. Yanal Ashmouz exits the UFC with a record of 2 wins and 2 losses. Known for his explosive striking and aggressive style, Ashmouz made an impression early in his tenure, but struggled to find consistency against tougher competition. His most recent appearance came in June, where he suffered a decision loss to Quillan Salk, a bout that seemingly sealed his departure from the promotion. Rolando Bedoya's run was even more difficult. The Peruvian fighter went winless in 4 UFC appearances despite showing resilience in each outing. His final fight took place in September, where he dropped a unanimous decision to Jamie Mullarkey. While Bedoya displayed toughness and strong cardio, he was unable to secure the key victories needed to keep his place on the roster. Lastly, Kang Lee also finds himself released after going 1-3 in his 4 UFC bouts. Lee's lone win showcased his solid all-around skill set, but he couldn't capitalize on that momentum. His most recent fight ended in a stoppage loss to Santiago Luna on September 13th, capping off a frustrating stretch for the South Korean fighter. These roster moves are part of an ongoing process by UFC President Dana White, who has frequently emphasized maintaining a high-performance standard within the promotion. With the Contender Series producing a steady influx of new prospects each year, veteran fighters and inconsistent performers are finding their positions increasingly at risk. While these 3 athletes have been released, history has shown that departures from the UFC aren't always permanent. Fighters such as Brandon Moreno and Alex Perez once faced similar setbacks before working their way back to the world's biggest MMA stage. Whether Ashmouz, Bedoya, or Lee can rebound and earn another shot in the octagon remains to be seen, but in a sport defined by comebacks, their journeys may not be over just yet. Move on to another news. Strickland might just be the toughest matchup for Khamzat Chimaev, according to former UFC middleweight champion Luke Rockhold. While Chimaev has bulldozed nearly every opponent he's faced inside the octagon, Rockhold believes Strickland's unique fighting style and mental toughness could present serious problems for the undefeated contender. Chimaev's dominance has been undeniable. Aside from close battles with Gilbert Burns and Kamaru Usman, no one has come close to defeating him since joining the UFC. His relentless wrestling, explosive top control, and suffocating pace have made him one of the most feared fighters in the sport. Many fans and analysts already believe Chimaev could hold the middleweight title for years. Yet Rockhold thinks Strickland's unorthodox defense and resilience might be the key to slowing him down. Speaking on the Jackson podcast, Rockhold admitted he isn't exactly a fan of Strickland, but he couldn't deny his effectiveness. "I hate to say it," Rockhold began, "but Strickland is probably the toughest test for him. I'm not a fan, but he's annoyingly hard to hold down. He's not great on the ground, but he always finds a way to get back up, and that's the biggest problem for Khamzat. If he can't keep a guy down, it becomes a much tougher fight." Rockhold's comments point to an interesting stylistic clash. Strickland's pressure boxing, constant forward movement, and cardio could make it difficult for Chimaev to impose his wrestling-heavy game plan. While Chimaev thrives when he can dominate opponents on the mat, Strickland's ability to scramble, defend, and stay composed under pressure could force Khamzat into deeper waters than usual. The 2 fighters have also shared time training at Extreme Couture, a detail that adds another layer to the potential matchup. When asked if that history could influence their performance, Rockhold acknowledged it could. "It plays a role in both their heads," he said. "I can already see Sean talking loud, trying to get under his skin." However, before any of that can happen, Rockhold reminded fans that Strickland needs to get back on track. The former champion hasn't fought since February, when he dropped a unanimous decision loss in his rematch against Dricus du Plessis. Still, his durability and experience make him a name that continues to loom large in the middleweight picture. Move on to another news. Dana White has finally spoken out about UFC commentator commentator Jon Anik's frightening road rage incident, addressing both the reality of being a public figure and the unpredictable dangers that come with. The UFC president's comments came after reports that Anik was threatened by another driver during a confrontation in Connecticut, an incident that quickly went viral and drew concern from the MMA community. Many fans speculated that Anik's calm and apologetic reaction to the aggressive driver may have unintentionally fueled the man's confidence, allowing the situation to escalate. When asked about the incident, Dana White didn't hold back. He offered a mix of empathy and hard truth, explaining that being a recognizable figure comes with risks that most people never have to face. Being in the public eye, especially in the UFC, means you've got to expect unpredictable and sometimes reckless behavior from people you cross paths with, Dana said. He added that fame often attracts the wrong kind of attention, and public figures must always stay cautious, even during seemingly ordinary moments. It's unfortunate, he continued, but that's the reality. You never know who you're dealing with, and things can go sideways fast. White also made it clear that the incident shouldn't overshadow Anik's reputation or professionalism. Instead, he said it serves as a reminder of the unique challenges that fighters, commentators, and media personalities face outside the octagon. Dana emphasized that Anik handled himself as best as anyone could under the circumstances, and that situations like these highlight the need for awareness and composure. Reflecting on his own experiences, Dana shared a bit of perspective. When I was growing up, I'm 56 now. People who acted crazy got sent away. You didn't run into as many nutty people, he said. What? I don't know what happened with that system, but now you've just got to deal with it. If you're in a position like Jon Anik, me, or anyone else who's a public figure, you have to be ready to take your lumps any day. Some people can handle it. Some can't. Everyone has their good and bad days. Some can. Everyone has their good and bad days. Dana's remarks struck a chord with fans, sparking debate about whether Anik's calm demeanor made things worse, or if the situation was simply unavoidable. In the end, White's message was clear. Being famous doesn't make you immune to danger. If anything, it makes you more of a target. Move on to another news. Mauricio Ruffy recently revealed that the UFC is currently targeting a potential matchup between him and Rolando Moicano, a fight that could shake up the lightweight division. According to Ruffy, this is the most logical matchup available right now, especially with top contenders like Rafael Fiziev and Matheus Gamrot sidelined due to injuries. With the division temporarily slowed by these absences, Ruffy believes his clash with Moicano presents both a stylistic and competitive opportunity that fans would love to see. In a recent interview, Ruffy expressed genuine respect for Moicano, but made it clear that he's eager to test himself against one of the most experienced and technical fighters in the division. He acknowledged Moicano's strong grappling and solid striking, but believes his own well-rounded skill set and youthful energy would give him the edge. I like Moicano. He's a good guy and a great fighter, Ruffy said. But this matchup makes perfect sense right now. The fans would enjoy it, and it's a fight that pushes both of us toward the top of the division. Ruffy's rise in the UFC has been fast and impressive, showcasing sharp striking, explosive movement, and a fearless approach to competition. His willingness to face dangerous opponents has earned him respect among fans and fellow fighters alike. Facing Moicano, who brings a mix of elite-level jiu-jitsu and veteran composure, could be the perfect test to see whether Ruffy is ready to make a run at the rankings. He also made it clear that timing is everything. He wants the fight to happen as soon as possible. I'm hoping to make it happen by the end of this year or early next year, Ruffy added. I don't want to sit out too long. I'm healthy, I'm in great shape, and I'm ready to go. The UFC knows this is the matchup fans want, and I think it's only a matter of time before it's official. If the bout materializes, it would be a compelling showdown between Ruffy's explosive offense and Moicano's calculated precision. Both fighters bring different strengths and temperaments to the octagon, setting the stage for a high-level, strategic battle that could easily headline a fight night or serve as a co-main event on a major pay-per-view card. Move on to another news. Jon Jones may hold a significant advantage over Alex Pereira if the two ever meet inside the octagon, at least according to former UFC middleweight champion Michael Bisping. While a matchup between Jones and Pereira has not been confirmed, speculation continues to grow about a potential super fight, possibly taking place at the UFC's highly anticipated White House card next year. Both men have expressed interest in the clash, and fans are already debating how such a fight would play out between two of the sport's most dominant figures. Bisping recently weighed in on the possible matchup via his YouTube channel, offering his honest assessment of how the fight might unfold. According to him, Jones' elite wrestling and grappling skills would give him a major edge over Pereira, who is primarily known for his world-class striking. Let's be honest, Bisping said, Jon Jones beat Cyril Gane by taking him down with ease, and he'd probably do the same to Alex Pereira. It's just one of those matchups that stylistically favors Jones. Jones' versatility and experience have long been considered among the best in MMA history. A former light heavyweight king and current heavyweight champion, he has repeatedly adapted his strategy to dismantle any style presented to him. On the other hand, Pereira has achieved incredible success since transitioning from kickboxing to MMA, capturing titles in 2 divisions through his devastating knockout power. Still, questions remain about whether he could handle Jones' elite-level grappling and ground control. Meanwhile, Bisping also addressed Jones' recent comments directed at interim heavyweight champion Tom Aspinall. Following Aspinall's controversial win over Cyril Gane, Jones took jabs at him on social media, questioning his toughness and even calling him a quitter based on past losses to Curtis Blades and others. However, Bisping defended Aspinall, calling Jones' criticism unfair. After the Gane fight, Tom couldn't see for days, Bisping explained. To say the man's a quitter isn't fair. Injuries happen. When something pops or tears, you can't just fight through it. That doesn't make you weak. It means you're human. Bisping also commented on Aspinall's earlier heel hook loss in 2015, pointing out the danger of such submissions.